Do you reckon we're gonna like Dead Reckonings?
Let's review it!
This is the review for the board game Dead Reckoning, the good and bad about it.
By the end of this video, you will reckon if you should get this game.
We have 6 burning questions that we will answer, but before we do that, what do you reckon this game is all about?
In this game, you control a crew of a ship. And that can be a fairly good crew that travels, trades, or they can be pirates. Arr.
There are certain achievements that you can get, and when somebody gets 4 of them, the game ends. The winner is who has the most booty, most money.
During the game, you will be taking turns with your cards. And this is a deck builder surprise.
But a unique deck builder at that.
Yeah, each card is the see-through thing. So this card has these see-through cards on top, and that's how you make it better. You're gonna place another on top, so that's gonna add another line, and that card is already better. So that's how you upgrade your cards, which is the crew.
Each of these board spaces will have either an advancement or a event merchant ship there. You can trade with them, you can attack them, and try to get these improvements that you later on put on your cards.
But the ordinary advancement you just buy. Just pay the cost in barrels and just put it into your card. So on your turn, you can play as many as you want, and each crewmate lets you do certain actions. Building buildings, placing your influence cubes, upgrading your ship, so on and so forth. And once you're done, you're gonna discard the cards that you played and draw new ones. And then the next player is gonna go. And this way we continue until the game ends, when we mentioned when somebody places their 4th achievement.
It's really not deck building, it's deck improving.
Yeah, that's true. You actually don't get more cards, you just get better cards.
So in general, this is your ship, and you go around these islands, collect resources, get resources, buy advancements, other things that pirates do.
And obviously, these achievements are the main things that push you in certain ways. One achievement is for collecting 12 or more barrels and then discarding them. One is collecting gold, one is for building buildings, another one's upgrading your cards, another one's exploring, and so on and so forth.
The main thing is traveling around and trying to get the control of as many islands as you can.
If you have an island, that means you can produce gold. If you can produce gold, that means you can carry it on your ship to your harbor. And if you can carry it to your harbor, you can put it in your chest. And if you can put it in your chest, you maybe can try to win, because that's the whole point of the game.
But also, you can attack each other and other ships and other buildings. So fighting is a part of this game as well. And the combat system here is really fun. I'm gonna give you 4 cubes of mine. You have to take out how many other cannons you have.
I have 1 million cannons.
Then you take 1 million cubes.
Let's start with 4 and then see how it goes. So we each have 4, and then we throw them into this ship, and then they will land on either crowns, which kind of count for victory. Who has
like
the
strength points?
Yeah, who has the most crowns, well, gets the crown, wins. Then there are flames, which light up your ship, and if you get a certain amount of flames, you burn. Bye ship. And then you can pillage the other ship by taking gold away or getting barrels.
If one of your cubes hit this place, you take it out and multiply it, and then throw both of those cubes in, so it kind of explodes.
So essentially,
a little fun stuff.
It can go on forever.
It can go on forever and get to your million cubes. So very lightweight combat, I would say. Fun one.
Yeah,
for this overall economic and strategic game. So this is a Euro game where you try to get as much gold as possible, and the uniqueness where it stands out from every other game is these see-through cards, this combat system that we talked about, and as well as the overall feel.
Yeah.
It's very piratey and fun. So let's see what we think about it in these few questions that's following after I'm shutting up.
Who would you get this for?
3, 2, 1. Eurogamers with an eye patch.
How many of those do you know?
What I mean with that is this is a Euro game, an economic game in its basics. You have to go to an island, produce there, get resources, get back, just get as much money as you can. But it has so many cool twists. That's where the eye patch comes in. It's very unique in its piratey and its mechanisms that complement this theme. And if you're interested in pirate, and also you are a Eurogamer, it's for you.
I have epic deck building.
Epic deck building.
Still feel like it's a deck building game, even though your deck stays the same, just cards get bigger. The whole feel is kind of epic. So many things going on, and yeah, it's a Euro game, but then again, there's this combat where you roll cubes. It's randomy, right?
Yeah, that's where the eye patch comes in. You don't see with one eye, so it's just what happens.
Yeah.
Where you shoot.
It's a very unique package, all in all. What are the top 3 best things about this game? The start. What I mean by that is every time I begin this game, I'm like, what should I do this time? Should I try to buff up my ship, or should I use the cards, or should I go exploring? So it's always super exciting for me, just the beginning of this game. Usually it's the other way around, like I can't wait until I get to the good parts. But here I feel that it just starts outright really, cool.
Win-win. A lot of things that you do here feels like whatever happens, I'm gonna win. For example, fights. When you throw those cubes there, there's a big chance you're gonna get new resources there. Even if you know you're gonna lose the fights, you're still gonna get a lot of good things. Even if you burn down and start from the harbor, it's not that bad. You lose 5 gold, that doesn't feel good, but it's not that bad. You get rid of all that fire that was kind of ruining your day already.
Your house burns down? Well, at least the fire's gone, right?
Whatever happens, it feels like progress, and it makes you feel very, very good playing it.
Number 2 are the cards. You see a theme there? There you go. The cards are awesome. At first, they're simple. Like, for example, Buccaneer just lets you place 1 influence. But if you upgrade, you're gonna get 2 influence. You get to upgrade one of your cards at the end of every your turns. Upgrading one of the cards to level 4 is one of the achievements. So you're already like trying to get to something that's gonna give you points. I love deck builders, and I like this a lot. A major coolness factor for this. You take it. Take over.
These upgrades are just fun to do. All of them feel like I'm progressing, looks good, feels good, and it's something that makes it unique. You kind of mentioned it with your third thing, but it's tons to do. There's so much stuff. What I learned quite quickly is that you can't do everything. At the end of the game, you won't even upgrade half of your cards. You won't be able to explore everything, get everything. It's gonna end much quicker than you planned it to. That means that there's replayability, because different strategies work. Each time you will try to do something different. That's what good games do. They give you choices how you want to play this time.
My number 1 is the board. I'll be honest, I put down start only to have the third word with R. Full disclosure. What's gonna happen is you're gonna create the board randomly out of a certain pool of tiles. It's not gonna be major changes, but every time going into this, it's always exciting to find which islands are there. Then figuring out, should I put my influences here, or maybe I go explore some more. The farther you go exploring, the better upgrade cards are gonna be there. In a way, it's a race game. There's one achievement that gives you points for exploring certain amount of these tiles, and not everyone's gonna do that, accomplish that. So at first it's like a race. Let's go, let's explore as much as we can. I just like that board, and it feels so very different every time, even though, it's just a couple of tiles differently arranged. And when you play, the geography matters. For example, there's an angry pirate ship. I'd rather go around it.
Yes, there are stronger cards here, but also it's farther away from the harbor, and in the harbor it's the easiest to create supplies. So you will have to go back, but it's not so easy to get these 4 movements. And if in the middle is the pirate ship that you just mentioned, oh boy, you might be stuck without resources for a while. Tons of fun with this board for sure.
Why this game might not be for you.
So remember when I said there's tons of stuff, tons of things to do? Well, that might be also a bad thing, because you might feel overwhelmed.
Amount of rules.
You can do that. There is these buildings, there are those cards, those upgrades, combat coins, those ship upgrades, those level ups, those harbors, those resources, those chests, those fires. Did I mention buildings? Those merchant ships.
And then some things you can buy from discarding barrels from your ship, some things from harbor, some things only from ship. The first time you teach this game, that's a lot.
For example, you can build buildings on these islands. If that thing wouldn't be there, I wouldn't mind.
Generally, there's just maybe too much stuff for somebody. If you don't have this, then I don't know. But it's set up and tear down. Thinking about it. Setting up is a pain. Tearing down, even bigger pain. Oh, look, we got to upgrade all these cards, which we have to reset back to 0 now. We have to take out all the upgrades, put them in the right boxes, turn these to the correct sides, put them all back in one deck, and place them in a box. If not for the setup.
It is a hassle for sure. And it also takes quite a lot of table space. My last one, personal, is the combat. I overall like it, but it's completely random, and mostly both will get good stuff from it. And sometimes it feels like, shouldn't we all just fight. Nobody's losing, really.
I think that's the design goal. Hey, it's about ships with cannons, then they should fight. Another one is it kind of a bit kills the flow for me. To the turn, oh, you fight. Okay, then you count up how many cubes you have. Then you throw them in there. Then you add. Oh wait, one landed in the place where I have to add one more. Then I throw it in. Okay, nothing else. Then okay, then let's count. Okay, now you turn. Kills the flow for me a bit. I still like it. I mean, this is cool.
The rest of it is very much about planning, finding out where you can get the most resources. But the combat is just, we'll see what happens. Even if you have a lot of cubes, most likely you will win, but you never know. You never know. Very minor thing.
I don't think anything's like major a game killer.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Honeymoon.
Honeymoon. 2, 1.
Standard epic relationship. This is kind of borderline epic game. It's big, it's a lot of stuff, it's a lot of rules. It is not very short, but it's not too long as epic games go. So which means is I won't break it out 10 times per year. I wish I would. Probably gonna be like 2 to 4 times per year, and that's already great. This way, I feel it could last for a very long time if I just don't take too long before those games, because I might forget some rules. And then it would take for a very long time, like most of my epic games that I have in my collection that I play occasionally, not as often as I wanted to, but they still stay in my collection because every time I do, I love it. But if you do play it often, like some people get to do that, then there are expansions, just saying.
There are 4 strategies already written in the rulebook. There's extensive paragraphs of how to play like an explorer type or pirate type, and they all seem fun, and you're not gonna nail them at the first time. As we talked before, there's tons of things to do and tons of ways you can kind of do that. So I feel like there's a lot to learn about this game. I feel like this is a long honeymoon for you.
Now the question is, what's the best alternative?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I kind of knew you would put Sight.
Yeah.
I actually... Go ahead.
Yeah. I didn't.
And now I'm gonna interrupt you. I thought of doing Sight, but I felt Sight is not as sandboxy as this game.
Sight feels very similar. It's not as unique. I feel this is more unique, more thematic. Overall, it feels similar where you try to build resources, then try to protect them. There's much more stuff outside of the economic side.
Mine's Western Legends feels similar to me in the way that there's so many things to do, and it's a sandbox game. There you play a cowboy, or you can be like a bandit, and you can play, somebody can switch to a sheriff and try to get him as a bounty. So there's shootouts, and you can play poker, and you can rattle cows, and you can buy new equipment, and there's so many things to do as there as well. You just move around, and it feels very samey in the amount of freedom you have to do, like a sandbox game. Final rating.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Fantastic plus for me.
It's fantastic for me. It's not actually widely available. It was only available through one Kickstarter. But good news, at the time of you watching this, another Kickstarter is coming in August 2022. After that, maybe not, who knows. And I'm seriously considering maybe getting my own. It's a fantastic game. It's just... everything it does well. Even packing stuff inside the box is actually thought out. There's little boxes for everything. Everything's easy to take out. You don't have like tons of things lying around the box. It's just a quality product. The components are nice. There's no confusing icons. Everything's just a really fantastic game.
Yeah, for me, it's fantastic plus. It's almost a must-have. And where it's not a must-have, I guess there's some small things that feels like it's too much. If explaining the rules would be a bit simpler, maybe not the buildings, or something that kind of even a bit more streamlined it, then it would be absolutely a must-have. I'm even considering right now that maybe it is a must-have. It is a really, really fun game. I enjoyed it thoroughly. All the bad things we mentioned before are minor things.
Yeah.
You feel like you could play some pirate games? This one is one of the best. With that said, I think our job's done. Now you have to do your part, which is...
well, like, subscribe, and, just Patreon it.
Just Patreon it.
Just Patreon it.
Thank you, and see you next time.